Morning, Jamal. Thanks for meeting with me today. How have you been?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, great, thank you. So the purpose of today's meeting is to present the proposed asset management plan for Pitstop and discuss key maintenance compliance, lifecycle budgeting strategies that have been developed to support the ongoing maintenance and management of operations and facility assets across all of our service centre locations. So the plan's been developed using Pitstop Asset Register, the maintenance plan procedure, our asset disposal policy, and also all of our supporting WHS and compliance documentation. So today I'm going to provide just a key overview of some of the key sections of the plan, including our asset inventory, our maintenance strategy, our condition assessment and life cycle planning, our risk management, some benchmarks and performance metrics, some budget considerations we'll have to make, and also just communication and reporting processes. So I'll discuss how the plan supports our operational reliability, compliance, and also long-term asset management.
Thanks, Matt. Sounds like a fair bit to go through today and cover off, but I'm interested to see how the plan balances operational requirements with the maintenance budget and the long-term asset management as well.
Okay, excellent. Righto. So we'll get into it. We'll start with our asset inventory. So the asset management plan applies to all operational facilities assets across Pitstop service centre locations. This includes our fuel dispensing systems, LPG systems, HVAC systems, fire protection systems, refrigeration and food service equipment, also electrical infrastructure, and then general building assets as well. The asset register will remain the primary system to use to identify, track, and manage our assets. The register includes all of the asset information such as asset type, equipment location, maintenance requirements, life cycle information, operational status. So all assets are currently assumed to be within their 3 to 5 year operational life cycle stage and are generally considered serviceable at this point.
That's great to hear. That's a positive to start with, so that's great. Look, just first question, how will we ensure the asset register remains accurate over time?
Yeah, great question. So the general manager of facilities, which at the moment is me, obviously, will be responsible for maintaining the asset register in accordance with the Pitstop maintenance planning procedure. So this includes regular asset reviews, updating maintenance records, record breakdown history, updating the life cycle information, and reviewing contractor service reports. This process will support better life cycle planning and maintenance scheduling moving forward. That hit everything you were thinking?
Yeah, that sounds great. So moving on to maintenance strategy?
Yes, definitely that's next on the agenda. So the proposed maintenance strategy is primarily focused on preventative maintenance, and the objective is to reduce reactive maintenances, so reduce truck rolls, improve operational reliability, maintain compliance requirements, and also extend asset service life where possible. And also to reduce long-term life cycle costs, obviously holistically. The maintenance activities will be scheduled throughout the year to minimise operational disruption and reduce emergency breakdowns. The maintenance process at the moment is reviewing the asset register, identifying requirements, scheduling preventative maintenance, allocating internal or contractor resources required, and then monitoring maintenance completion and reporting. The tasks will be based on manufacturer recommendations, any legislative requirements, our Australian standards, and then operational risk and also historical maintenance data as we start to work through.
Okay, sounds good. Look, and just for my benefit and for my understanding so that I can go back to some of my teams, How does preventative maintenance help financially compared to just general reactive maintenance?
Yeah, great question. So preventative maintenance, as opposed to a set and forget reactive strategy, will allow Pitstop to identify major issues before failures occur. And so this reduces emergency repair costs, operational downtime, equipment damage, any compliance risks, and also unplanned disruptions to our service centre operations. It also improves budget predictability because maintenance can be planned for, it's proactive and scheduled rather than relying heavily on reactive repairs, which is hard to forecast. So if you're comfortable there, we'll move on to the condition assessment and life cycle planning. All the assessments will be completed regularly to monitor asset performance, reliability, and overall condition. The condition assessments include preventative maintenance inspections, compliance inspections, contractor condition reports, breakdown analysis, operational feedback from site personnel, and testing and calibration of critical assets. All of our assets will be measured against criteria such as operational reliability, physical condition, compliance status, safety risks, frequency of breakdowns, and then also their remaining service life. So as all assets are currently considered to be within the 3 to 5 year operational life cycle period, the focus currently is on maintaining reliability to reduce deterioration. The life cycle plan also outlines strategies for some predictive maintenance, refurbishment plans, replacement planning, and asset disposal processes. So yeah, life cycle timelines have also been included in the guide for future refurbishment and replacement decisions when we come up against those.
Okay, sounds good. So that gives us our best case scenario. So what would happen if we have an asset that begins to fail earlier than we've predicted or expected?
Yeah, awesome. Great question. So that's all built into the plan as well. So if the asset begins deteriorating or failing earlier than expected, which does happen, additional inspections and condition assessments will be undertaken. So depending on the operational risk and the maintenance cost involved, Pitstop may implement a number of strategies, including additional preventative maintenance, refurbishment works, increased monitoring, and also life cycle replacement planning. So any major replacement projects outside of the OPEX budget would be separate and assessed and approved under a CapEx discussion.
Okay.
So onto risk management. The asset management plan identifies several operational, environmental, and WHS risks associated with our critical assets. So some of the key risks identified were fuel leaks and spills, LPG system failures, HVAC system breakdowns, and failure of fire protection systems. So some of the potential impacts of these can be obviously big ones like fire and explosion risks, but also compliance breaches, environmental contamination, operational shutdowns, customer disruptions, and ultimately financial loss for the business as well. So control measures for some of this included within the plan are ensuring we've got robust preventative maintenance programs, scheduled inspections and audits regularly, as we touched on previously, having hazardous area controls in place, spill management procedures, contractor management controls, plenty of staff training and competency verification is built in, and also our emergency response procedures. So our high risk maintenance activities will not proceed unless all permit to works, controls, approvals are in place prior to those works starting.
Okay, and just one, I guess, consideration. How, when we're having contractors on site, how will we ensure contractor compliance and safety performance for those guys?
Yeah, so contractors will be managed in accordance with our pit stop maintenance planning procedure. So this includes contractor pre-qualification, review of licenses and competencies, all of our inductions, reviewing of their JSA and safe work method statements regularly, site inspections and audits, and then review of contractor service reports. So where contractors fail to comply with our safety or operational requirements, corrective actions or suspension of works may and likely will occur. So moving on to benchmarks and performance metrics. So the plan also includes several KPIs for measuring performance and monitoring processes. Examples of this include fuel system operational uptime greater than 98%. So we're looking to have 100% completion of all of our scheduled preventative maintenance, compliance with all Australian standards such as AS 1851 servicing requirements, and completion of maintenance documentation and inspection. So performance will be monitored through contractor reports, maintenance schedules, compliance, inspections, breakdown, trend analysis, and asset performance reviews. These processes will allow Pitstop to identify trends, monitor contract performance, measure effectiveness of our maintenance activities, and obviously all of this will be built into our preventative maintenance contracts with our contractors.
Okay, sounds good. So again, that's best case scenario, everything running well, but what happens if we get to a period where our performance benchmarks are not being achieved? What's our steps?
Yeah, so if benchmarks are not achieved, corrective actions may include additional inspections and servicing, regular contract performance reviews, so performance management of our contractors, increased monitoring activities, updated maintenance schedules, and then also built within the contract will be a notification system for issuing non-conformances with the contract. So this will support continuous improvement and then ongoing asset reliability through just correct management of our contractors and the contracts. All good so far?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, excellent. So the current operational maintenance budget allocation is $15,000 annually. So to operate within this budget, the plan needs to prioritise preventative maintenance over reactive maintenance, compliance of critical assets, high-risk operational equipment, and essential safety systems. The budget allocation considerations need to include scheduled servicing, compliance inspections, all contractor costs, emergency repair allowances, so a bit of B factor built in there because we are going to run into some reactive works, critical spare parts and consumables, and some asset replacement planning can sometimes fall within the OPEX budget as well. So monthly budget monitoring and expenditure reviews will also be implemented under the plan.
So where it stands currently, this $15,000 annually, do you believe that maintenance budget is sufficient?
Yeah, so the current budget should be sufficient for routine preventative maintenance and general operational servicing, provided the maintenance activities are appropriately prioritised. So, however, I would recommend some consideration of a modest increase in the maintenance budget to allow for some additional OEM and specialist contractor engagement for our critical assets such as fuel systems, our LPG infrastructure, and also hazardous area equipment. And I've built some of that into the plan. Okay. But yeah, these systems carry a higher operational risk for us and also compliance risks. And in some cases, they do require specialist servicing along with calibration and manufacturer-supported maintenance activities. So whenever we're engaging the OEMs, this comes at a greater cost, being that they're specialised for their equipment. So an increase in budget allocation would help support this. So we could engage the OEMs where required and hopefully achieve improved lifecycle management, reduction in high-risk reactive failures, and improved overall operational reliability of our plant and equipment. So I believe this would provide better long-term value and reduce the likelihood of larger unplanned maintenance costs popping up that we're going to have to account for throughout the year. Thoughts?
Yeah, look, I completely see where you're coming from. What's that look like? Give me a number.
We're not talking sheep stations, so I believe an increase of approximately $3,000 to $5,000 annually would provide just a little bit more flexibility for specialist servicing and of our compliance critical activities without creating a significant financial impact to the business. This would really allow Pitstop to manage high-risk assets proactively rather than relying heavily on reactive maintenance responses. The lifecycle planning condition assessment process includes this within the plan. They're intended to identify these requirements early and to improve budgeting and reduce unexpected costs.
Okay. Then look, I'm okay with that figure.
Yep.
There appears to be room within the current operational budget to support that additional, let's say, $5,000 allocation. And you're saying that's for specialist and OEM maintenance activities. Look, I agree that investing in preventative and compliance-focused maintenance is preferable to managing larger reactive failures down the track. Let's update the asset management plan, reflect the revised maintenance budget allocation, and inclusion of the additional specialist servicing provisions, and I'll fix up from my end. Okay,
excellent. It's great to hear we're on the same page there. Thank you very much. So I'll update the asset management plan to reflect the revised budget now that you've approved, and also include additional OEM and specialist maintenance considerations where required moving forward. So that's great news. The last piece is communication and reporting structure. The asset management plan also includes some robust processes around communication and how we're going to manage reporting ongoing. So this includes monthly contractor reports, maintenance schedule reviews, compliance reporting, budget monitoring, operating updates and also operational updates to management. All maintenance and compliance documentation will be electrically retained on the pit stop server in accordance with our organisational procedures.
Okay. And how often will the management team receive updates regarding the asset performance and maintenance activities?
Yeah, so the general manager of facilities, again myself, will provide periodic updates to the management regarding the maintenance performance, compliance status, operational risk, budget expenditure, contractor performance and significant issues. This reporting will support transparency and allow for management to make informed decisions both operationally and from a financial perspective.
Okay, thanks Matt. Look, overall the plan appears well structured and I appreciate the focus on preventative maintenance and we're on the same page there, especially with the compliance and life cycle planning.
Yep.
Look, I recommend continuing to monitor the maintenance costs closely and ensuring contractor performance remains well managed. So from that, yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Happy with the plan.
Cool, great. Thank you very much for your feedback. So I'll review all of today's discussion and make any required updates to the plan for final implementation. Yeah, let me know if you think of anything after the meeting. I'm always available. We can catch up again as needed. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Thank you.